people are like, how will you make money? Is there job stability? I'm like, dude, there is no job stability anywhere. Like, the education system is trained like that, where nothing else is nurtured. Like either you are in a particular sport or like you become this. They wanted me to go on stage and do stuff, and I was very shy. Like I didn't want to do it because I was conscious. And first of all, I don't know why teachers were very frustrated back in the day. Probably bad pay. Okay, you can't. And imagine you have to say the same shit to the same class every day. It's tiring. Kochi, White. Actually, Nadu, Ambalappuzha, but we are settled in Kochi. Schooling Oman, but I came back in 21. I did my college in Mangalapuram. So,
wonderful. It's good not to have that kind of different environment to live.
It
is a lovely way of bringing up, right?
Yeah, I mean, it has its own benefits, pros and cons. And all
what are the biggest challenges that you faced while growing up like that?
Challenge, actually, nothing. If you ask, I mean, I just had to grow up, right? It's a process, can't stop. Biggest challenge is that when I went to Oman, I was like 5 years old. So from here, when I went there, I had a language problem, and Hindi arilla, English arilla, so only Malayalam. And then they put me in a school that was like a Malayalam medium school. So from that time only, Gulf countries have Kerala board.
So you were studying in a Malayalam medium?
In Oman, yeah. Malayalam medium means it was Kerala state board. Like it was started by a bunch of Malayalis. And Pasha school, like the funny part is that it was not very organized. It was a very new school. So I ran away from the school. I ran away from the school because I didn't like going to that school. So I ran away and I came home. Then my dad was, because main thing is that if I have to communicate, something is wrong, then like Malayalam ആണെങ്കിൽ പെട്ടെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ് മനസ്സിലാക്കുക. പക്ഷെ ഞാനത് യൂസ് ചെയ്ത് അവരെ പറഞ്ഞു പറ്റിച്ച് അവിടെ നിന്ന് ഓടി വന്നു. സോ instead of asking for help. So അങ്ങനെ ഒരു 2 വട്ടം ഓടി. And I came home. Then my dad is like, ഇവിടെ വിട്ടാ പറ്റില്ല. Because it's dangerous, right? 8-year-old kid running away whenever he likes, and these people don't even know, like getting fooled twice. So പിന്നെ പുള്ളി സ്കൂൾ മാറ്റി, ട്യൂഷനൊക്കെ വിട്ട്, language. So this as hardships, I feel like just basic, dude, whatever people go through, like growing up, and it's nothing like particularly hardships like that. Parents were chill. They were like, I think they knew like oru gunam illa, so they didn't put too much effort as such. They were, because my dad also was like an artist. He used to do like stage shows and kada prasangam and all that. But then he had to leave and then go work. So he was supportive. I was not ready for it. They wanted me to go on stage and do stuff, and I was very shy. Like I didn't want to do it because I was conscious, and I'm like, you know how they have that, like edengilum parivadikku povumbol they like go dance with other kids. I don't want to dance. I want to sit on one side. But then I think in like oru 10th, 11th, 12th ഒക്കെ ആവുമ്പോൾ like we started seeing Russell Peters and all these guys. അവരുടെ സാധനങ്ങളൊക്കെ വന്നു തുടങ്ങി. So then I'm like, I like that. Like I can do that because that's what we are doing when we are hanging out with friends, right? Just making jokes.
It was natural for you,
Yeah. So I'm like, I can do that. We can do that. പക്ഷെ അത് എങ്ങനെ ചെയ്യും, എവിടെ ചെയ്യും, no one knows. Like it's in US and Canada, right? Like ഇന്ത്യയിൽ പോലും അത് വന്നിട്ടില്ല. So I was like, so then I started participating, like ഈ കസിൻസിന്റെ കല്യാണത്തിന്, like പ്രീ വെഡിങ്ങിന് ഒരു പരിപാടി ഉണ്ടാവല്ലോ. So അതിന് I used to do like emceeing and make fun of my uncle, aunt and all that. Like just
you must have a lot of fun.
Yeah. So like that ഒരു വട്ടം ചെയ്തു കഴിഞ്ഞപ്പോൾ like all relatives started asking like അവനെ ഒന്ന് ചെയ്യാൻ പറയോ to the point where I'm like I think I should get paid now for doing this. Free of cost, like why would I do types? But it was fun. So adu chedu. Then I think in college I was like, college is, when you reach college, like a new environment, right? So avada poyappo like new friends and like samsarikkunna korchudi, like I started getting into debate clubs and parivadi undengi ellam emceeing, host, like that. go-to MC is there in college, right?
Always
this
is the guy.
He will do. And he will say on stage type. So അത് ചെയ്തായിരുന്നു. അപ്പോൾ still no idea how stand-up like എന്താ ചെയ്യേണ്ടത്. But it's not there in the mind also. I'm like എന്തെങ്കിലുമൊക്കെ ചെയ്തിങ്ങനെ. So പിന്നെ I went back to work. And there.
What did you do as work?
I did so engineering. I did mechanical.
Okay.
I went back to Oman to work. So അവിടെ ഒരു പൈപ്പ്ലൈൻ കമ്പനിയിലാണ് ആദ്യത്തെ 3 വർഷം വർക്ക് ചെയ്തത്. So that time I joined Toastmasters, who are like they are a speaking club. It's for everyone. Like you want to develop your speech or whatever. It's a speaking where you make your connects, networking, all that.
It's more of a practicing expression.
Yeah, practice. And also it's like a Rotary comes speaking club mix like that. So avada poya alkari meet cheyam. You get to meet like big company the CEOs, they all come participate. So it's like a added thing. So avada poyappo they have a section called humorous speech.
Okay.
Which is like same thing like stand up. Pashe like they have a competition. Adu competition matra ullavarku. They have a criteria called humorous speech.
Okay.
So nammada club nu vendi I used to participate in humorous speech and win it for them. So they were like kollam. Like that. So every time, so even after I left the club, they used to bring me back, like how they'll bring one player for 7 like from somewhere. Like that only they're like, can you join the club for 2 months and do the speech and go like that. But what did Dikimbo? I saw a stand-up comic. Like he had come and performed. So I asked him. So he was there in Oman only, based in Oman. So then I came to know that there is a whole group who does stand-up. They practice because unless you find like that, you can't know what to do exactly. It's like just shot in the dark. So like that, I found him, but then I left Oman and came back in 6 months. So when I reached here, again, luckily, there was a bunch of guys who were doing open mic. I saw that, did open mic there. Then, since then, I'm like, you know what, I like this. I want to do this.
Yeah.
But
was it easy to take that decision?
Actually, yeah. After you waited so long. No, the thing is...
like you were you having questions in your head?
No, the thing is, so it's like I went first time here, I did, people laughed, I liked it, and it was a nice energy. So I'm like, I want to do this. Like, if this is how it feels on day one, then when it is like every day, if you're ready to feel like this, and it's not too much work, like it's something you like. So, but my parents' main deal was that if you make money, you can do this. Otherwise, you have to go back to work and make money. So I tried for first 1 year. I tried. The thing is very hard to make money as an artist generally, not just stand up. Any art, you have to have that experience. You can be a good starter, but for people to accept and give you money, then it takes time. So 1.5 years I tried. I wasn't getting a stable income. Maybe like something here there, small, like not even pocket money types. So then I went back to work.
Oh, you went back to work?
Yeah, I went back to work.
Okay.
But not leaving it fully. Like I went back to work because I knew there's already a club in Oman, right? So like while searching for job, I spoke to them. I said, how regularly are you doing? I just found out. So I was making the decision like, the too many factors. Like if I go back to Oman, I can save money more because I can live with my parents and there's a comedy scene. Or I would have to go to Dubai, where there is definitely, it's a big city. They have comedy. And it's a vast scene. Like there's like Europeans, Indians, Americans, all that. So Oman was like jolly tea. They had a club. They had regular mics, like weekly once angilum varna undairunnu. Then I used to drive down to Dubai and do. So angane chedu around in 21 I felt okay. That time scenes were like picking up everywhere in India generally because of social media.
Right?
Yeah, and COVID, I think people sat at home.
Yeah.
So they became very used to stand up.
And they also got exposed to a lot of stand up.
Yeah, a lot of stand up. They understood the art. The problem with stand up is that people watching you should also understand what is happening. If they don't understand and they're thinking, I want to see a comedy like a movie scene, they will not find it funny.
But interestingly, Kerala had the history of stand-ups, right?
Yeah.
Chakyar Koot and
Ottandullal. They're all forms.
All forms, right? I don't know if any other places have something like that.
No, they might have. See, court jesters generally it is stand-up comedy. Ipo Chakyar Kooth nu parayumbo, you have to say it in verses. You know the Chakyar Kooth whole thing is that there can only be one Chakyar.
Yeah.
It's
the same guy is doing it every time.
No, he has to be. So the deal is that you start training at the age of 4 and you become Chakyar very late, like past your 40s.
Oh yeah.
So the deal to become Chakyar is the
one who
funniest
does the
among the funny guys.
Oh, okay.
So he will perform for the king. There are many other people who are performing outside. So there will be like a competition where the king has to laugh and then place the crown on your head. Then you become Chakyar.
Oh,
That's the criteria.
process.
That's the criteria. So you have to. So how quickly you get that? So it takes people years. There's no thing like, oh, you're funny or Chakyar. No, there's only one Chakyar at a time, and the king crowns him as the Chakyar. Like king finds you funny and he crowns you. If he crowns the guy before you, you don't even get the chance.
Yeah.
Crazy, right?
crazy,
So imagine the risks they were taking of doing
they were
that.
putting their life on it. Right?
Yeah, especially at those times. So
I mean, that's their purpose, I guess, back then.
yeah, purpose. It's like what you want to do, na. Like what is the like? There are two. Like people go to work because they want to make money. They don't have other means of living. And also because like, I always tell people like the education system is trained like that.
Yeah.
Where nothing else is nurtured. Like either you are in a particular sport or like you become this, there's no, you're not identifying like is the guy a good artist, can he sing songs, like if parents, like I know a lot of friends whose parents knew their kids were good at like, I had a friend who was electric guitar, he used to play, he plays for a band in New Zealand now.
Oh, nice.
That's because his dad knew. You understood? His dad knew he's great, so he used to send him to higher level education for that kind of stuff.
I wish we all had those kind of parents.
Yeah, it's not only that. It's just the school should find that out, na?
That is true.
It's not. That's why you spend money and you send people to school so that they nurture like. So at that time, now those schools are even better. But
Now it's better.
when we went to school, there's like nothing. Even you call music teacher and all, like you just hit two drums and no, they know music, but. There's no teaching happening. Na? Kids are just singing something and going home.
And most importantly, they were not identifying the kids who were good at it.
No, it's not just identifying. I think like teachers, first of all, I don't know why teachers were very frustrated back in the day. Probably bad pay. Okay, you can't, and imagine you have to say the same shit to the same class every day. It's tiring.
And every
Can't
year.
blame them. Yeah, every year. That's what, every year, and there will be kids who half the kids won't study.
Yeah.
So can't. But again, like the thing is like no teacher. First of all, they don't know. Like people can't think. Even now, at this point, people be like, how are you making money doing comedy? Like how? Arey, I am making money. That's why I left my job. Na, I'm not stupid, right? Yes. Who will leave his job and sit at home if I can't make money with this? Exactly. So it's a whole doubt. People are like, how will you make money? Yeah. Is there job stability? Yeah. I'm like, dude, there is no job stability anywhere. You could get fired tomorrow. Where is the stability in that? You could go anywhere. You could be jailed for random shit, man, in this country. You don't know. So the thing is, there's no stability anywhere. So might as well do what you like, rather than sitting in an office. And see, some people are good at that. Yeah. I'm not saying going to office is bad. Some people are made for that kind of job. Okay?
Yeah, I know someone who's telling like, that's easy for me.
Yeah, it's easy for them. So what they want is that they want to make money. They don't want to like, I'm not saying it's not risk. They want to make the money. They want to enjoy, chill. Okay. Yeah. But the thing is, like for me, I worked for 8 years. I'm like, like it's then I'll have to murder someone in the office because I can't, like it's hard.
Too hard.
It's too hard. So I'm like, and it's too much stress now. Like you're doing, I don't like what they're doing. I don't, there's like a lot of toxic culture. So I'm like,
there's a whole Big Boss happening inside, right?
Yeah. Everywhere it's big. That's why Big Boss is the most famous show, dude. Because people like that kind of, drama, and they're like, oh, it's nice to see it happen to someone else. So you're like, oh, I'm not alone. So you feel that.